swords clash as fire rains down on the battlefield. Sigrid stands alone, outnumbered, refusing to yield. A legendary battle unfolds at Fýrisvellir. Sweden's fate hangs in the balance. Steel clashes with wood. Sigrid's shield splinters as an axe swings dangerously close. Eric, the Norse warlord, shouts commands. His army surges forward, outnumbering Sigrid's defenders. Arrows whistle overhead. Astrid, young and fearless, deflects a shaft with her spear, fighting beside Sigrid. Fýrisvellir, 985 AD. The name burns onto the screen. Sigrid's sword glints as she cuts down another attacker. Smoke blots out the sky. Bjorn thunders into view, his giant sword clearing space for Sigrid and Astrid. Eric locks eyes with Sigrid. Tension boils, longtime rivals facing off at last. Sudden silence. Sigrid's breath fogs in the icy air. Then, a savage charge. Enemy warriors crash into her shield wall. Names and alliances blaze on screen. Eric's rebels versus Sigrid's loyalists. Spears meet shields. Sweat pours. Astrid falls, a spear scraping her side. Sigrid lunges, defending her with wild fury. Flames erupt behind Bjorn. He roars, swinging his sword as fire reflects in his blue-green eyes. Eric's axe nearly strikes Sigrid. She ducks, rolling through mud and striking back with fierce precision. Sigrid's shield wall wavers. Reinforcements arrive, rallying at her side. The tide shifts. Blood spatters the snow. Sigrid's sword meets a rebel blade. Neither side relents. Astrid, limping, tosses a spear. Her aim true, taking down an enemy closing on Bjorn. Eric rallies his men with a deafening war cry. His voice cuts through fear. A horn blasts. Sigrid signals a retreat, luring Eric's army into a deadly marsh. Wounded, Sigrid limps but refuses help. Every step forward is a victory. Chaos erupts. The marsh swallows men and horses. Sigrid's trap is sprung. Sigrid plunges back into the fight, sword raised, defending her wounded comrades. On screen, Sigrid versus Eric, fate sealed. The rivals close in, blades drawn, breath ragged. Bjorn defends fallen allies, swinging his sword with brutal force. Blood spatters his wolf pelt. Eric's helmet is knocked off, mud streaks his face, but his eyes burn with hatred. Astrid, spearing two foes at once, proves her courage. She won't abandon Sigrid. Lightning flashes, epic silhouettes of Shieldmaidens fighting beside Viking giants. Eric's rebel banner falls, trampled under mud as the loyalists push back with savage strength. Sigrid saves Bjorn from a surprise attack, slashing down a rebel just in time. Eric hurls his axe. Sigrid deflects it with her shield, splinters flying everywhere. The battered marsh churns with screams. Sigrid and Eric circle. Only one can end this battle. On screen, only the bold survive. Sigrid grits her teeth for one last brutal charge. Astrid struggles upright as Sigrid cuts a path to her side. They lock eyes, unspoken trust. Bjorn, back to back with Sigrid, blocks blow after blow as they're surrounded by desperate rebels. Eric finally charges at Sigrid, bellowing her name. The battlefield holds its breath. Clash! Sigrid and Eric's blades lock, sparks fly. History turns on these seconds. Teaser: who will win this brutal duel? Next, secrets of Sigrid's past and Eric's ruthless ambition revealed. Sparks fly as Sigrid's blade meets Eric's axe, their faces inches apart. Rain pounds the muddy battlefield. Both refuse to yield. Astrid limps behind Sigrid, clutching her bleeding arm. She lifts her spear, defiant amid chaos. Bjorn bellows, swinging his massive sword, driving back Eric's men from the shield wall. His cloak is soaked and torn. Arrows whistle overhead, thudding into muddy earth. Sigrid signals, her eyes blazing. ordering a retreat toward the marsh. Eric's war horn sounds. His forces surge forward, chasing Sigrid's retreating line into unfamiliar, treacherous ground. The marsh sucks at boots. Eric's men falter, some sinking waist-deep. Sigrid's trap is sprung, hidden spikes and nets snare them. Shouts of panic erupt. Sigrid charges back, her shield held high, leading her warriors in a fierce counterattack. Eric's axe slices dangerously close to Sigrid's head. She ducks, then slams her shield into his chest. Astrid, teeth clenched, spears an enemy who tries to flank Sigrid. She gasps, blood soaking her fur armor. Bjorn's roar echoes as he lifts two men off their feet, tossing them into the mud. His sword swings wide. Sigrid and Eric lock eyes as thunder rumbles overhead, both soaked and breathing hard. The battlefield around them is a blur of screams and clashing steel. Sigrid rushes Eric, her shield up. Their weapons crash with a thunderous clang. Sparks fly in the stormy twilight. Astrid, bleeding but determined, hurls her spear at an enemy lunging towards Sigrid. The enemy falls, inches from Sigrid's back. Bjorn swings his great sword in wide arcs, scattering Eric's soldiers. A muddy Viking crashes beside him, defeated. Sigrid staggers, knocked back by Eric's axe, but refuses to yield. The crowd roars as she regains her stance, eyes blazing with fury. Lightning cracks, briefly illuminating Eric's grim face. He swings again, barely missing, as Sigrid dodges under his arm. Astrid limps to Sigrid's side, using a broken spear as a crutch. She blocks a sword meant for Sigrid with her shield. Astrid shouts, "For Sweden!" rallying nearby warriors. More fighters rush to reinforce the Shieldmaiden's line. Bjorn slams into a wall of Eric's men, flattening two at once. He roars and drives them back with pure force. Sigrid ducks low and slices at Eric's thigh, drawing blood. He grunts and swings his axe in a wild, desperate arc. The ground shakes as rain falls harder. Marsh water rises, swallowing fallen warriors. Everyone struggles for footing. Sigrid loses her shield, battered from countless blows. Unarmed, she leaps at Eric, knife flashing from her belt. Eric grabs Sigrid's wrist, twisting the knife from her grasp. Their faces inches apart, both snarl through clenched teeth. Astrid launches herself at Eric, distracting him. Her wounded arm trembles as she slams her shield into his side. Sigrid breaks free, snatching her sword from the muck. She slashes at Eric's armor, denting iron with raw strength. Bjorn barrels through fighting men with a roar. He clears a path for Sigrid, hacking enemies aside with his greatsword. Sigrid and Eric circle each other, exhausted. In their eyes, centuries of conflict and ambition burn bright. Eric lunges, swinging wildly. Sigrid sidesteps, using the mud to her advantage, and sends him sprawling face first. The battlefield freezes as Sigrid pins her sword at Eric's throat. For one tense moment, everything is silent except the rain. Eric glares defiantly. "Do it," he growls. Astrid limps closer, blood staining her tunic, whispering, "End this, Sigrid." Sigrid hesitates, heart pounding. She hears shouts as both sides await her decision, hope and dread mingling in the air. With a sudden cry, Sigrid spares Eric, telling him to leave Sweden forever. Her voice echoes above the pounding rain. Eric scrambles to his feet. His followers, seeing their leader defeated but alive, begin to retreat into the marsh with heads bowed. Bjorn cheers, rallying the survivors. "Victory!" roars through the battered ranks as Sigrid is lifted on their shields. Astrid slumps against Bjorn, her wound still bleeding. Sigrid kneels beside her, binding the injury with cloth torn from her tunic. The injured are tended as the survivors drag themselves to drier land. Smoke rises from fires left smoldering in the marsh. Sigrid gazes at the sky, haunted by victory's cost. She remembers fallen friends, and promises herself their sacrifices won't be forgotten. At dawn, survivors gather to honor the dead with solemn chants. The thunder of battle is replaced by the hush of remembrance. Sigrid stands before her people. She promises to protect Sweden from future threats, voice unwavering despite exhaustion. Astrid, wrapped in furs, receives the clan's healer's blessing. She and Sigrid share a silent vow. These scars will mark a new legend. Bjorn, ever bold, leads villagers in raising new defenses. The whole community works together, inspired by victory. Rumors spread that Eric is plotting vengeance from exile. Sigrid knows true peace is still uncertain. Sigrid sharpens her sword, watching the horizon. Her resolve is iron. Sweden will never be ruled by fear again. The people celebrate with music and feasting. Children retell Sigrid's bravery. Old legends mix with new. But as night falls, Sigrid senses eyes watching from the dark woods. Danger still lurks outside the firelight. A mysterious messenger appears at dawn with urgent news. Sigrid must gather her allies. Sweden faces a new threat. Will Sigrid's boldness unite the Viking clans against the shadow rising in the east? Don't miss our next episode. Discover the secrets behind the mysterious threat and witness how Sigrid's legend grows.